Hello everyone, this is MonotoneDoppler. I've got a tutorial for you guys today. I'm going to show you how to build the Multicart version of Chest on Request from my last video. So stick around and I hope you enjoy. So before we begin, I'd just like to point out that I did in fact try to build this inside a village. And it didn't really work because we're on super flat. So there's only about 3 spaces underground to build before you hit bedrock, and then you can't build below that. And also, the villagers kind of spawn and get all over your tracks, and they kind of just ruin the whole system. And I didn't even have enough room to cover up the tracks if I would have built this in a real village. But I couldn't do it. Sorry, guys. Let's get on with the tutorial, shall we? Okay. The Multicart version of Chest on Request is based on 4 components. The first part is just a standard track. These link up everything together and are going to be the basic foundation. Next up we have our station, and the station is basically just Seth Bling's Chest on Request station, and on the top we have added a button, and the button will turn on the powered rail, so when you step on the pressure plate, the cart will stop at the rail, and then you push the button to send the cart back. The next piece is the switch off. This will make sure that the cart goes straight to the station when you call for it, and when you step on the pressure plate and send the cart back, it'll grab a new one from the Pez dispenser. The fourth and final piece is our dispenser. You can use any type of dispenser you want. I'm using a Pez dispenser because that's pretty much the easiest one for this tutorial. I recommend you don't use a Pez dispenser in your design because they're pretty laggy and glitchy and stuff like that, and they don't always work, especially in multiplayer. On single player they're usually fine, but when you reload the map sometimes they break. Frumple has a good one, and I'll put a link to his dispenser in the description. So here you can see I've constructed a little village of some sort. It's just 3 little houses connected by some wool. Inside the houses are just things you'd normally have in your house. A bed, some furnaces, a workbench. No chests, however. The white wool basically just says where our tracks are going to go, and that green wool over there is our station. We have a 10 by 14 rectangle, and inside we see a green line, and that is where our track pieces are going to go for the station. It helps to have it all laid out in advance, but you don't really have to. It's just an optional thing to do. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is lay down our track blocks. This is where the tracks are going to go, and this is going to just be the main starting section for our station, or our launching station. That's what I'll call it. We're going to lay down blocks for our redstone current. We're going to place a repeater here to extend the signal, and then some redstone to connect to our powered rail, which is going to be right there. Put a block there to start the track off, and just lay down tracks in this order. We have powered, unpowered, powered, unpowered in a second here. Unpowered, and then another powered, I believe, and then pressure, and then powered, and then unpowered, and then we're going to put a powered there. Now we're going to build these little blocks up here and put switches on them so that we can power those rails conveniently, and we're going to build a loop. This loop is going to be the switch off for our station, our launching station, and it's going to connect to the Pez dispenser. You need to make sure that these tracks line up like this. The curves need to face the correct directions, with the exception of the ones on the main line, and I'll show you those in a second here. You see, both of these tracks need to point inwards instead of towards the station. So we're going to wire up underneath the pressure rail some redstone and connect it so that way when the cart goes left to right, it triggers the pressure rail, and when it goes left to right, right to left, it does the same thing, and it goes straight under normal conditions. Here I'm messing up and being a silly idiot, and what you need to really do is connect the redstone up to the farthest switch, and you can see that when the cart comes back towards the station, it will go into the dispenser instead of back to the start. Now we're going to build the dispenser, so we're just going to create a pressure rail here to detect when incoming carts are coming in, and then we're going to build our tower and put some tracks at the bottom and power them, and then we get our trapdoor, and we're going to place it down on that block and put a torch to make it always on so that the minecarts will fall on top of it. Next, we're going to build our microstable circuit so that we only get a short pulse and only one minecart whenever one comes by. You can use any microstable circuit you want. I just pulled this one off the wiki, and I really like this design. That repeater needs to be 4 ticks, which is 3 clicks on it, and then you're done with that piece. So you can see when you flip the lever, it toggles really quickly, and you'll get a new minecart. Now all we have to do is just hook it back up to the start, and we're pretty much done with this section. So you can see there's the finished launching station. The next part we're going to do is build the tracks outwards and build our first junction. So we're just going to lay down our blocks and lay down the rails, put some powered ones to keep things moving along nicely. It's important to have a couple extra ones there, and you'll see why in a little bit. We're going to have a junction type of thing like this. It's kind of important to make sure that you position your junction to the right side so it's just easier to wire. It keeps things cleaner. So you're going to put down a repeater on this block facing towards the start. That'll send the signal back to the beginning, and that will make sure that the signal doesn't travel backwards, and it's kind of like an OR gate. The next thing we're going to do is figure out which way the rail points. When you flick the lever, it's going to go straight, and when you don't, it turns, which means that this line is already the right way. So all you have to do is just connect things up on the other side so that when your line is on, it triggers the rail to point the right way. And I'll show you how that works. So you step on the pressure plate, you go straight, you get off, you turn right. Now we're going to build a bypass so that the cart will not turn left, turn left when it's coming back. Instead, it'll go straight. And this is just a little fix for some other problems. I explained it a little better in my previous video. There we go. Our junction is complete. Now we're just going to build it again, except the opposite direction. It's going to be a little different. For example, instead of torches there, you're going to have just a straight line. And we're going to do the same thing, extend it out. Lay down the tracks. Lay down our wire. Put our repeater facing towards the beginning. Lay down some more redstone on top of those blocks. We need a couple more booster rails, power them, and we need to put down some tracks. Here you can see I'm doing this wrong. Okay, now we're going to connect this up, and so when you step on the pressure plate, the track points the right direction. Here I'm building the overpass again. Now we just need to power it, test it, make sure everything works. There we go. Points the right direction, you can see. And that's all set. Now we're going to build the station. The first thing you need to do is inside your house, place a button on the ceiling. I'll show you where to put it, and a pressure plate on the floor. And that's all you have to do inside the house. Now on the block under the pressure plate, you're going to put a redstone torch, and you can see that there, it's on the side. And we're going to build some track like this. It's going to go from the right side to the left side, and it's going to stop right in front of the window there. And we're just going to power these. Now we're going to put a torch there on top of the block with the button on it, and then wire this up so that you can send the cart back when you want a new cart. And we can test this. We step on the pressure plate, turns off, push the button, turns on, and we're good. That's exactly how it should work. Now we're going to dig a hole underneath, and we're going to connect to that redstone torch and invert it again. You can actually connect directly to the block underneath like we did earlier, but this is a little easier. And then we just need to connect everything up. So we're going to connect the redstone, put a repeater down to make sure the signal travels. We're going to put down some tracks. And then we're going to build our end piece. So that way the cart can turn around if it ends up making it past the station. And I've already built stations on the other two houses, and we just need to connect them up. And I'll be right back when I did that. Oh, here I am, I'm back. Huh, that was quick. I didn't even realize it. So now we just put down our minecarts, break that one, and push them into place. Put that line back, and you're done. Everything is all set. You can just test everything out. You step on there, you get your cart, you put things in. This is in fast forward 200%, so the video's faster, but that's the basic idea. You push the button, you get a new cart, you put more stuff in, you run to your other house, fly, swim, dance, whatever you want to do. You go to your next house, you step on the plate, wait about 10 or 15 seconds, and there's your cart. And you put your beds in, and there you go. One thing you can know is that you don't actually have to put a button on the top. You can flick the lever, or step on the pressure plate if you have one, and then just get off and get back on really quickly, as long as the cart goes back in the right direction, and you'll get a new cart, because that does the same thing that the button will do. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or comments or how to do anything better, just leave me a message down below in the comments section and just tell me your concerns or ideas or whatever things you have to say. I'm really interested to hear the development on this, because this is one of my favorite things I've seen so far, in terms of innovation and cool things to experiment with and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for watching. See you later.